What is up, you guys? Hope you're doing well, and we're another week of remote learning, and we're going to jump right on in, okay? We are on page 30 in your book. We're going to start with reviewing just the very last bit that we did last week, which was talking about minor scales, so that's number 144. I didn't quite have a whole lot of time to do much explaining of minor scales last time. I just kind of played through that first one just so you guys could start to get a hang of it. But this time I'm actually going to spend the time to kind of explain the relationship of a minor scale to a major scale. Okay, so you guys know from building all of our scales, okay, that the formula that we used, okay, was whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So if I've got my scale degrees, 1 through 8, this is the relationship between each scale degree. So 1 to 2 is a whole step, 2 to 3 is a whole step, 3 to 4 is a half step, 4 to 5 whole, 5 to 6 whole, 6 to 7 whole, 7 to 8 half. Okay? Now, just using it as an example, if I was using B flat as my 1, this is how I would build a B flat major scale. We did stuff like that already. We should be fairly familiar with how this works. Okay? So a minor scale, okay? Every major scale has like a little buddy that is a minor scale that uses the exact same key signature. Okay? Now, the way that you can know what the major scale's buddy is, like what minor scale is related to what major scale, if you go to the 6th scale degree and you start a scale on the 6th scale degree of any major scale and you go up from that point, so if I go 6, then 7, 8, and then if I continue going an octave higher of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be my minor scale. Okay, so in this case, my major scale is B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. If I started on G, okay, and we can even say G is an octave lower, like way down here, but if I went G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, that would be my minor scale. Okay, so if you want to think about the whole half steps and whole steps, in this case, and for minor scales, the formula we would use would be whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. Okay? You do not need to know as much about the half steps and whole steps for minor scales, but I do want you to understand the relationship of a minor scale to a major scale. Okay? So if I said you're playing, let's say, an E flat major scale, okay, and I would say what minor scale is related to this E flat major scale. You would use that E flat major scale, go up to the 6th scale degree, and if you started a scale on that 6th scale degree, that would be your minor scale. Okay, the term that they use for that is called a relative minor scale. I just using just as its buddy, but how they're related. But the technical term that they would use is the relative minor scale. Okay. Now, the first kind of minor scale that we had talked about last time was the natural minor scale. There's technically 3 different kinds of minor scales. We're only going to talk about 2 of them in 7th grade. The third one will be introduced to in 8th grade. Okay, so for the natural minor scale, again, I talked briefly last time that minor scales sound very dark. Okay, they sound a little bit more mysterious, whereas major scales usually sound very happy and upbeat. Okay, so for our natural minor scale, 144, I know it was the last thing we did last time, but I want us to start with it again. Okay. Now, again, 145 is just utilizing this natural minor scale. It's a pretty straightforward one. There is that triplet there at the end, and I did talk about it last time that we played the second movement of the New World Symphony last year in our 6th grade book. This is from the 4th movement, which is the big dramatic ending. Okay. 146 is when we're introduced to our harmonic minor scale. Okay, harmonic minor scale. Now, there's only one difference between the harmonic minor scale and the natural minor scale. Okay, the harmonic minor scale, the 7th scale degree, okay, in that scale, the 7th scale degree is raised by a half step. Okay, so you guys can see in your music on measure 4, the half note on beat 1, that it's raised by a half step. Otherwise, it is the exact same as the natural minor scale. Okay, you're gonna probably recognize harmonic minor a lot more because that's that raised 7th scale degree. I always like to talk about how it sounds very like Middle Eastern. Okay, it gives that kind of Egyptian feel. Okay, it always kind of gives this that little Middle Eastern kind of vibe to it. Okay, and it's used in a lot of music. So 146, the harmonic minor scale. We're gonna do that now, and you're gonna hear the difference between that and the natural minor scale. That is definitely the more common of the 2 minor scales, is the harmonic minor scale. And again, there's only one difference. It's just that 7th scale degree raised by a half step. Otherwise, they are the exact same. Okay? So number 147 is a great example of putting some practice with this harmonic minor scale. Now, you'll see in the first 2 measures, we're definitely using a harmonic minor scale because of that raised 7th scale degree. But then you'll see in the 3rd measure, it comes back down and it's lowered. It's almost like we've gone back to our natural minor scale. It is possible sometimes for pieces of music to go between the 2 of them. There is technically the 3rd kind of minor scale, which we don't have an example of, is one that it actually includes both raised and lowered notes. The 3rd kind of minor scale is called a melodic minor scale, and that's why when we're going up the scale, we raise the 6th and 7th scale degree, but when we come down the scale, they're back lowered to what they were initially for the natural minor scale. Okay, melodic minors are super, super weird. You really don't see them that often. This is one of those very few opportunities in 147 that we could technically say would be a melodic minor because it uses a raised 7th scale degree going up and a lowered 7th scale degree coming back down. But again, okay. Hungarian Dance number 5, though, it's a really fun piece. It's more fun the faster you go with it. So we'll play it once just at a slower tempo, and then we'll speed it up a little bit, okay? We'll do it with the repeat. Oops. I totally butchered that. The 8th graders are doing the same thing, but they're doing it with 16th notes, and I was just making that video like literally yesterday, so that was a little bit off my head. Let's do that one more time, and I'll do the correct rhythms this time. Much better. Jeez. Yeah, I was trying to do something with crazy 16th notes, and that was clearly not what was written. Okay, so I'll do it one more time. We'll do it a little bit faster. Yeah, let's try it a little bit faster. There we go. Okay. For percussion, this is another good one just to help work on flams, and especially when you get faster percussion, make sure the flams are not accented unless it is said to be accented, and make sure that, especially when we get faster, we don't get higher strokes. We just stay at about the same level. Okay, that's all I've got for today, guys. We are actually really close to the end of the book, just because the last I guess besides 148 from 149 for quite a bit in the book is just band arrangement stuff, which is stuff we would play in class, but it's kind of counterproductive to try and do it when we're not all together. There is some exercises in the back of the book that we'll probably be going on to next, and then I'll kind of have to get creative as to what we're going to do next for the rest of the year. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I hope to see you soon. Love you, miss you.